Mel Gibson warned Hollywood was hiding dark secrets. For years, almost nobody listened.
One of the most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime is awareness. Go see Sound of Freedom.
Now old Oprah controversies are resurfacing online, and people are asking serious questions again.
You can't get mad. You can't let it get you, because you have to make a deal with everyone else, and it's almost unspoken that you are going to be over at some point by people who you may have done something nice for.
Many viewers believe Sound of Freedom exposed hidden issues, topics powerful people avoided discussing publicly.
Sound of Freedom is smashing it at the box office and is being attacked continually by the mainstream.
Why are you doing it? Because God's children are not for sale.
It appears that there's a cultural thirst for a film that presents an issue that you might imagine all people would agree on is worthy of attention. The trafficking of children appears to be more pervasive than people have previously thought and are willing to discuss. And it seems that American audiences have a real appetite to see this story told. And when something like this emerges that's entrepreneurial and perhaps Christian, which is one way of looking at reality. I know a lot of you guys are Christian and I love Jesus Christ. People attack it saying, oh, it's to do with QAnon. Well, I don't know, man. It seems like that's a little bit of a stretch.
The movie went massively viral online, but Hollywood support stayed strangely quiet.
Rose McGowan has put Oprah on blast. Rose recently called out Oprah on Twitter over her past associations with some controversial men. Rose wrote, quote, "From being pals with Harvey Weinstein to abandoning and destroying Russell Simmons' victims, she is about supporting a sick power structure for personal gain. She is as fake as they come." And just to refresh your memory, music producer Russell Simmons has been accused of by at least 15 women. Last year, Oprah pulled out of a documentary that's highlighting their stories because she and the filmmakers apparently did not see eye to eye on that project. And as for her former friendship with Harvey Weinstein, Oprah had said that she did not know about the sexual accusations from women, including Rose, only that she had heard he was a bully. Do you believe that she has a point here, or does Rose have a point? Where do you fall?
I want to tread very lightly on this because I do have a lot of empathy for Rose McGowan. She is a survivor who has been very vocal, did not hold punches to speak her truth, and she was silenced and bullied and threatened. She is like a lot of survivors, especially in light of Me Too, who have very post-dated trauma that they have not been able to walk through and actually heal from. So I want to be sensitive to that. However, I think that the anger is misplaced because at the end of the day, Oprah is not the end-all, be-all of everything. There have to be other people who are rising to the occasion and being advocates and offering support. I think the idea that Oprah would have been able to take down this very strong patriarchy and all of the power structure as a black woman coming up in media, especially during that time, is a bit ridiculous no matter how much power Oprah seemingly has. So I think the conversation needs to be had. People need to be held accountable.
Critics questioned major streaming platforms. Why did so many avoid promoting the film?
This woman, she's losing her eyesight, and she'll do anything to get it back. So one day, she hears about this famous spiritual faith healer in Brazil, and she thinks maybe he can heal her eyes. So she travels to Brazil with some friends, and they get there, and she meets this faith healer, and she has a session with him, and he has her sit down in a chair, and he tilts her head back, and then he pulls out a scalpel, and he starts cutting right into her eye. Now the woman, let's call her mother-in-law, because she's my actual mother-in-law. But we'll get to her in a second. First, let's talk about the faith healer. So the faith healer, his name's John of God. And this dude claims that his god or whoever will heal people through him if he does his hocus pocus and touches them. Of course, he has no formal training in medicine. He's never been to med school. In fact, he dropped out of elementary school in the 2nd grade. But regardless, he considers himself a healer. And one day, he just decides to travel around Brazil and tell people, hey, look, I can heal you. And people fall for it. In fact, they're really into it. And over time, he slowly builds a following. And his following becomes so big that he eventually builds a spiritual healing center in the middle of this small town to accommodate all of his visitors. And there, John of God becomes known for performing what he calls psychic surgeries, which is exactly what it sounds like. He uses no anesthesia, no sterilization, and he does these medical techniques on people that just don't make any damn sense. Like he shoves surgical forceps up people's noses to heal them, or he'll scrape the white of someone's eyeball with a scalpel in order to heal them. It's weird. Like someone will come in with back pain and he'll be like, let's scrape your eye with a scalpel, that'll heal you. But anyway, he claims this works. He claims that he's cured people's cancer. He claims that he's healed multiple sclerosis. He claims that he's helped people walk who couldn't previously walk. And while he's doing all this, he allegedly doesn't take any payment for all these healings. But he does, of course, accept donations. And he sells things to his followers, like special healing pills that are just placebo. And he also sells, and I'm not making this up, bottled holy water. And so by doing all this, John is starting to get really popular in Brazil. In fact, he gets so popular that ABC notices and they do a 1-hour special on him. And they treat him not as if he's a con man, which he is, but they treat him as if he's actually healing people.
Some believe certain stories get buried intentionally, especially when powerful names are involved.
I wasn't sure it would ever happen. One of the most famous spiritual healers in the world rarely talks to anyone on camera. John of God agreed to sit down with me under a mango tree on the grounds of the casa. A group of his patients gathered to watch. John of God speaks only Portuguese, so Heather Cumming helped translate. Ready, guys? You describe yourself as a spiritual medium. What does that mean, a medium?
Médium, eu sou espiritualista.
As a medium, he's a spiritualist. He believes a great deal in God, and he practices this mission already 55 years.
Born on a farm to a family who rarely had enough to eat, João Teixeira de Faria was the youngest of 6 children. His father was a tailor. His mother, a housewife who also ran a small hotel to make ends meet. João left school when he was 7 to work in his father's tailor shop. To this day, he cannot read or write. As a boy, João says he realized he was clairvoyant when he predicted a terrible storm that destroyed a neighboring village. This event began his journey as a spirit.
Oprah's connection with Harvey Weinstein shocked critics. Many called it a major red flag.
A former dormitory matron at Oprah Winfrey's South African girls' school looked nervous and sullen as her trial got underway. Tiny Virginia Makopo is charged with assaulting 6 teens and a fellow 23-year-old dorm matron, but the 28-year-old denies the charges.
Her plea was that she denies all the allegations against her, and she declined to give any plea explanation. She did not raise any defense. They are reserving her defense.
The opening session Tuesday was public, but the rest of the trial, expected to last all week, will be private, and the judge is allowing the teenagers to testify through closed-circuit TV so they don't have to confront their alleged attacker in court. Winfrey, a victim of child abuse herself, has promised to overhaul the $40 million school. The Chicago-based talk show host said school officials tried to hide the allegations from her.
I was, needless to say, devastated and really shaken to my core when I first heard this news. And I spoke to all the girls personally, and I encouraged all of them, any of them who had actually been harmed, to please come forward.
Winfrey opened the school last year to fulfill a promise she made to former President Nelson Mandela. The school gives girls from deprived backgrounds a quality education. It also grooms them for leadership positions in a country where schools are struggling to overcome the legacy of white minority rule. Ed Donahue, The Associated Press.
Another backlash started after Oprah promoted John of God. At the time, he was presented as a
Before
hero.
trial was set to begin, Oprah Winfrey has settled a defamation lawsuit with one of her former employees. Lawyers say Winfrey and the woman who once served as the head mistress at her South African school met and resolved their differences peacefully and to their mutual satisfaction. The lawsuit was filed following a scandal at Winfrey's all-girls academy in 2007. A dorm mother has been accused of abusing students, and the headmistress claims she didn't know anything about the allegations. At that time, Winfrey said she had lost confidence in the headmistress and that she would be cleaning house from top to bottom. The former school official claimed the talk show host defamed her, and she had trouble finding a job after those comments. She asked for more than $250,000 in her lawsuit. Court papers suggest she is now working at another school in Africa.
Later, disturbing allegations changed everything. Public opinion turned against him fast.